You do it first.
Will you be sharing the recording later with us?
Yes,
Great.
we will.
We'll have it available.
Website.
Oh, I need permission from you to record, if you want me to record also.
I don't know how to do that.
Then we'll just leave it. You've got a recording, we're good to go.
Okay, I got
Request.
I got the request from Sandy, so I didn't get the request from you, Pam. I got a
Okay.
request from Sandy.
If you click on the little box there, just say, do it.
Yep, so it's recording.
Okay,
All right, very good. All right, well, thanks for.
you guys both know Sandy, who is our district grants chair for the district. And I'm just gonna turn it right over to her. Bernardo, what we're gonna do is she's gonna go through a presentation and save your questions. And then she'll get all your questions at the end of her presentation.
Yeah, because we're recording it, I want to do kind of a step by step. And then we'll do your personal questions.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm hoping that everyone knows and has access to get into DACDB. If you don't, you're lost, but your secretary in your club will give you a password to get into that and getting set up. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to put us into DACDB. So when you first open, let's get this stuff off of here. When you first go in, can I get this to go up out of the way so you guys don't have to see it? No, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, move it down. Now it won't move it down. Ah, that's not good. Got any ideas on that, Joanne? Because the toolbar. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. So when you sign into DACDB, it should come in. Your first page that you come into should look similar to this. And then you see the tabs across the top here. So whenever you're doing anything with this, your club is doing anything with district grants, you always click My Club. So I know it's a district grant, but it's pertinent to your club. So the only reason you would go into the district tab to go to district grants is if you were looking for resources such as videos like this one to know how to do things. But basically all the information and all the sharing that you do with your club and your requests, all your information for district grants and your club goes into the My Club tab. You don't see anything, you don't see it, but when you click on the My Club, then all of a sudden a bunch of stuff shows. So then you go into club grants and you're going like, but it's a district grant. The district club grant. So always, always, always My Club, club grants. Okay, so we're gonna click on club grants. Now, my toolbar over here is going to look a little different than yours because I have some other accents, but you will have a club grants view. So you have to click on the club grants view. Now, my club has some grants this year, which you'll see when I click on this. Okay. Now, can I get this stuff moved out of your way? Move out of your way. There we go. Okay. So when you click on this, your club's name should come up at the top. And this is the grants that my club has for this year. So what we're talking about this time is actually finalizing reports. So I'm not going to talk about changing the organizational year or doing different kinds of things to apply for a grant. Just going to talk you through the steps that you need to do to finish up the grant that has already been approved. And your club should be now working on implementing what you said you were going to and finally finalizing. We're almost the 1st of April. So I encourage the clubs to really push along now with making sure they get everything tied up and you get all the documentation you need and get it put in. At any time, when you get your grant finalized at this point, we will approve it and give you a check within a week or two. So we're really quick at getting the checks out to you to get these funded. Okay. So here, for example, is my club had 3 grants this year. And you can see this one down here already has had their final report approved and already has been funded by the district. Right now, I'm going to come back to that. So whenever you do anything with these grants, go into your club, into this section, and you always go into the pencil. So you see all these other things. This blue looks like a link. It's very tempting to click on that, but no, you want to go into the pencil. Okay. So college scholarships, high school scholarships that we give out, we just approve those, and the scholars are just being notified. So if you'll go in here at this point, you'll find all these tabs that are across here. And the first tab you should go to is the final report. So always fill this one in first, and there's a reason for that, because it kind of backs itself backwards into everything. So when you click on the final report tab, it will somewhat fill in some of the verbiage that you put in the grant request. So here it says that we're going to award scholarships to high school seniors. Now, if that is changed and or you have better verbiage for that, we want this changed so we know what you actually did. Now you'll notice there's a blank here. How many people benefited this project? There's no number in there. Well, Rotary really requires us to find out from you how many people benefited for this project. So it turns out we're giving out 14 scholarships. Only part of those scholarships are really covered by this grant. So it'll be 4 or 5 scholarships for the amount of this. So when I get the paperwork back, I'm number. This is in here. How many Rotarians participated in this project? We had a group of Rotarians that were on the committee that did the marketing for this or whatever. Put that number in there. And what did they do? So we'll put a little verbiage in here. How are we doing so far? If a cooperating organization was involved, people get confused over that. That's really if another organization shared in the funding of the project outside your club. So most of the time, this is probably going to be done. All right, so you're busy, you filled this in. This took you 2 minutes to do that. Don't forget to go back up and click the Save Final Report tab. If you don't save the Final Report tab, all of the little stuff you just put in there when you go back to the next tab will disappear. So after you fill in some of the details there, then you want to go to the Budget tab. Now, in this particular case, as you can see, the club was putting in $3,500 and the district requested funds are $1,500. If that's not what you have receipts for, or if you ended up spending a different amount of money, more or less, this needs to be adjusted to match the receipts. How do you do that? You go over to the pencil, and there, bingo. Now I can change this number easily. And so say we only gave out $1,300, less money, so that we want from the district $1,300. The save button. Okay. So these numbers will change. It will change the bottom number. So this is, sometimes it's easier. I don't know why they didn't put the expense first, because in my mind, the expense is first. So say in student scholarships, we decided that we only gave out $4,500. So you'd have to go in here to the pencil again, and then you'd have to change this number to $4,500 and then save it. And so then back up here, you would go back and you would adjust these amounts to make sure the bottom line comes down to $4,500. Okay. Again, save the report. People keep calling me going, I put this stuff in there. Where'd it go? I did it 3 times. Because you got to scroll up to the top and save the final report. Okay. Then the last step is your documents. Now, this is where people get the most confused. You need to upload files, which are documentation to prove that you did the project and that you spent the money, okay? So just think of this as your fiduciary responsibility to everybody in Rotary. And what did you do? Now, we like canceled checks. I know sometimes these days it's difficult to get them. Sometimes you can get photos of checks. we like to not just have a check, because so you wrote a check to not-for-profit ABC. How do we know that not-for-profit ABC got the check and used it for what you said you were going to do? So we really want to have documentation, pictures. Sometimes it's a check presentation. For things where you've got food banks and different kinds of things, you've got pictures, like we did turkeys. Here, let me go back to my club here, okay? So we did holiday turkeys. So here's holiday turkeys. I've filled in the final report now, which described that we gave out so many turkeys. Here we gave it to, guesstimate of the number of people this is going to affect, how many Rotarians were involved, what they did, they picked them up, okay, all good. Then I went to the budget and didn't need to change the budget because we ended up spending the amount of money, and we're going to have receipts for the exact amount of the $3,000. And then in documents, here in documents. Now, you can upload documents in images or documents, or you can just upload them and they hang out down here, which is fine too. So here you can see that my club, they put in a check request. Here's a check request for money to give it to the food banks here. So there's the check request. Uh-oh, can I get out here without screwing everything? Oh no, here we are. Where's the screen here? I gotta come back up in the Zoom maybe. Uh-oh, hang on, sorry. Why can't I find you? There we go. Okay. Hi there, guys. Sorry about that. Let me go back into share screen here.
While you're getting that, it's nice to see some more faces on the call. So welcome to everybody who's joined the call.
Did I lose Dak? Is that my problem? I lost Dak?
You lost Dak.
All right. I'm really sorry. This is my first Zoom effort. So, oh, come on. There we go. Okay. So I was showing you holiday turkeys here. All right, under documents. Okay, let me see over here. So here are the actual receipts. They're in here, a PDF file that's here. They're actually receipts of all the turkeys that were purchased. And here are other images. I have images in the images here. There are actual pictures of us handing out the turkeys. So people are always kind of confused about what needs to go in this document section and what proves that they actually did the work. And I think just kind of using common sense, basically think about the fact of, okay, your club, your club did the work, your club had this grant. How can I prove to Rotary that our club did this work and spent the money as we said they were going to? So if you have an issue and you didn't end up doing quite what you said you were going to do, let Pam or I know. If things just didn't happen completely, let us know. We can figure out how to deal with all that. And these are basically the 3 steps. So once your grant was approved, when it was approved, you got approval notice, then I'm going to show you this one too. Then this final report tab pops up automatically. So you can go at any time into the final report and add your documentation of what it is that you're going to do and actually did. you can go then and adjust the budget if necessary to make it match what you actually spent. And if you spent more than the grant and your receipts indicate that, we want you to actually change your club cash to show that you spent more, and that's fine. You get credit for all of that. And then the documents are where people stumble. Just think about what it is. The example I use all the time is a lot of clubs do third grade dictionaries. So, you know, I happen to know one year our club bought 30 boxes of dictionaries. Well, at the end of the year, 10 boxes of those dictionaries were still in somebody's basement. Well, you know, in terms of a club operating, you know, presumably next year they'll only buy 20 boxes of dictionaries and it'll all work itself out. But for the purposes of a district grant, if you said you were going to spend $3,000 on dictionaries, you've got to spend $3,000 on dictionaries and give them out. So that's why we press you for some additional documentation other than a check request or an invoice showing that, you know, 30 boxes of dictionaries got delivered. Whose basement are they sitting in? You know, the whole idea is you got to finish the work that you told us you're going to finish the work. Now, you know, we had a year where post-COVID, we couldn't give out the dictionaries. The schools wouldn't let us give out the dictionaries. So we came back to, and we had a grant from district. We came back to district and said, we can't give out the dictionaries. The schools are not allowing us to do that. But we have another program in the community where we feed families at the holidays. And so is there any way we can switch that grant out? Now we're getting kind of toward the end of the whole thing here, so we're not making any promises, but we have made efforts to still keep you having a grant, your club having a grant, if you're not able to do the original. Best thing is to communicate us as quickly as possible so that we can work with Rotary International and help your club use the funds that really are due and coming to your club. What's wonderful about this whole grant process is your Rotarians donate to the Rotary International, and the good news is some of this money comes back and your club can choose how to spend some of the money directly that they give out. So let me recap this real quick again. When you log on to DAC, you're going to go into My Club, and you're going to go into Club Grants, and then you're going to go to Club Grants View, which seems like it should pop up, but it doesn't. Right? And then you're going to find whatever grant, some of your clubs have more than one grant, especially larger clubs, are going to be listed. And you always want to go into the pencil. So as you can see down here, this one's already been approved. Final report's been approved and has been paid out. These two grants still need to be finalized. We'd like to have all grants finalized by April 30th so we can get this into Rotary International and move on with starting to get next year's grants approved. So when you go into a grant and you want to now finalize the report, go to the Final Report tab, fill in the blanks, make sure everything is correct, go to the budget, adjust the budget, again, using the pencils, so it's going to match the receipts of what you actually spent more, spent less. So you've got to adjust the income source and the budget expense source. Both of these have to match so that down at the bottom, it all blends out to zero. Then after you've done the budget, go into documents and then upload your files. Oh, and along the way on every single page, don't forget to save the final report. Now, when you get those three things done and all of those loaded, and the documents are the hardest one, they take the longest. Okay, come on over here, get out of my way. Get out of my way. There is, hang on. There is a, here. Oh, I haven't hit save final report yet. When you save the final report and you have all 8 things, there is a pop-up box here that says collect final signatures. So when everything is the way you want it, if you have any questions, call me and I will double check it for you. And so then you have all final reports saved. Then there is a button in the top here that says collect final signatures. Now that will send an email to the contacts on that you put in when you first, whoever did the grant in for your club. So these people will get an email telling them to go into DAC and approve it. So once 2 people, and if you're the person doing it and you're doing the final report and you're a member on the contact list, you can do it right at that time. So one of your signatures will already be collected. So once the 2 signatures are collected, then we, Pam and I, get an email saying the report is ready for our review. So then we will go into the report, look at it, and then we have, oh, here it is right here. See, new club. No, that's for a new grant. Sorry, it's a big gold bar that sits up there like that. Is it on here? No, I'm trying to look and see why I don't see the, there it is. Okay, club collect signatures. I had to go out of that page and back in. Club collect final signatures. So when everything is in your final report, your documents are uploaded, your budget is adjusted if necessary, you collect the final signatures. When 2 people have signed the report, it comes to Pam and I, we review it, we approve it quickly, and then Pam will cut you a check, like very good. All right, so I'm gonna go back to all of you here. There we are. And welcome, Chip. Welcome. Chip is on here now, I guess, okay. I've seen Chip before. Chip, what club are you from? I don't know if Chip can hear me.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, it took me a minute to get that mute off.
That's okay.
Melbourne Beach.
Melbourne Beach, okay. I know I've seen your face before at Rotary events. So.
Yeah, wanted posters and movies.
And that too. All right, Kim. All right, so basic primer. Hope everybody's okay with that. We will post it on the district website under the district resources. So, all right, Kim, go ahead.
Great. So I happen to be on myrotary.org, and I was going through and filling out all the stuff for the Rotary Showcase, which is happens to overlap a lot with exactly what's going into these final reports, especially the 6 questions. So are we just talking 2 different sets of data, or do those things have to match as well?
No, global grants are totally different from district.
Sandie, we can't hear you very well.
I don't know why. Let's see, we'll put the volume here. Global grants are separate from district grants. So what you're going to be seeing on My Rotary and Rotary Showcase are global grants. Yes, Rotary, has similar everywhere, tenets for how they want to operate and the fiduciary responsibility, but yep, they're very similar to what's built into the district module that's there.
But
I
you're
don't
saying
think the DAC DB has a direct connection to Rotary Showcase. They're kind of 2 completely separate systems.
Yeah, My Rotary is a separate system from DAC DB.
okay. So basically, I have a head start on my answers.
Good way to look at it.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second. Let me.
Okay,
I have another
Bernardo has a
question.
question.
Yeah,
We can,
thank you.
hang on, we can look at this. Hang on, I'll show you here. So I'm going to take you can't see this, but I can see this. So you're from downtown Boca. Okay, here's a downtown Boca right here. So Christmas meal delivery is one of your grants. Dictionary project is one of your grants, so you have to go into DAC DB. So here's the Christmas meal delivery, which you should have done by now, and click into the pencil and hang on here, I'm gonna get you out of the way. And then again, go into the final report. Now, have you started to fill? No, you haven't started to fill in anything in the final report.
Well, some of it is auto-filled and then the rest
Yes, right,
isn't.
some of it all filled, right.
Um,
Documents, you haven't put anything in yet, and the budget would have to be adjusted if it's different than.
No, I haven't, if you're looking for answers under my stuff, I have not done this yet. I was waiting on this class. And then I'm also waiting on a certain person in my club that has all the documentation, which he says he's too busy to give me right now. So, you know, we're getting to it. But
Yeah.
I do have a question. As long as you're looking as long as you got some stuff here from my club, we have a it's either called Chow or Now, it's nutrition on weekends. And my question has to, that is a $42,000 project that we do every Friday, and it adds up to $42,000 worth of expenses for the year. So when I was on the showcase, that's what I put in. Meantime, the amount of money that we asked for on our district grant was maybe, you know, 3,000 because we wanted to spread stuff around.
Yeah, so you don't need all those receipts, just give me.
Well, this is where I'm coming from. Are we okay with just showing the receipts for to match the amount of the grant?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, so you.
Can't hear you, Sandy, for some reason.
You know what, Christmas, it's under Christmas Day meal delivery. Here, it's right here. This one's yours right here. That one's it.
Okay, what was your comment?
So the one that you were saying was Chow or whatever, it's under Christmas Day meal delivery.
No, it isn't. That's separate things, but don't worry about it. I got my answer.
Okay.
As long as the documentation matches and adds up to at least the amount we have received, we're okay. We don't have to prove the overage.
No.
That we paid out of pocket.
That's
Okay,
correct.
that's fine. I'm good with that answer.
Okay, all right.
So I got two questions, and thank you for the great presentation. On the collect final signatures,
Mhm.
how do I go to the signature? Scroll down or so? Is there a button?
When you hit the collect final signatures, another button will pop up.
Another pop, and I will sign. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Then the other question, this year we have two projects. We have our regular dictionary project, and then we have RILA. Now, RILA will actually happen May, you know, after we close the grants on May.
Yeah, we
I spoke with somebody who said, just give us a copy of the check of the people that you sponsored and submit that. Would that be okay?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
We know RILA, we know the data RILA, we want to go ahead and support RILA. We're not going to close this grant until we get through RILA, so that we're all legal and above board, that the work has been done as best we can. So.
And for submission would be the checks that we paid supporting 2 or 3 whatever students we sent to RILA.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thank you.
And all you have to do is write in the final report that you sent, 3 kids or whatever it was. Our club's sending 2, but we didn't get a grant for them. But that's
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So I believe the clubs have already written the checks for that. For RILA, I think most clubs have already sent their money to RILA. We're not going to be able to close the grant until after the day of RILA, but you could actually get all of your paperwork put in there.
Done before, right?
On that well before, yep, and be waiting for us to, hold it until.
Hold it. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We only need the checks. Any other proof that we sent John, Mary, or Paul or so? Or...
No, not it. This is one of the ones that's a direct check. There's no real work that goes with it, hands-on kind of stuff. It's pretty much just checks for this one. So,
Okay.
we prefer to have projects that are some hands-on and involvement of the club, but we also want to support RILA. So, and we know clubs have been doing this and we want them to do it. So it's good. We'll let this one go through.
Okay, thank you.
It
Got it
wouldn't
right?
be a requirement, but it might be very, very nice for the Rilarians to write thank you notes and include those in your documentation. If you could get that.
Yeah, but those would be after they do the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because I know we get the kids to come to our club and talk about briefly how great RILA was, but we're trying to meet deadlines to make it so that on the next end of the next set of grants, now people have put in their applications for the new ones and they want to get started. And we don't want this. There was one year that no one could start their grants until mid-October. And that's there's a number of clubs that like to do things around the beginning of the school year. And unfortunately, we can't get this through the 1st of June or 1st of July. It's got to be next year, Rotary. So it's got to be in July or so. And it goes, then everybody and their uncle's going to Rotary International wanting their new grant approved and their new money. So Pam and I are pushing this hard to make it so that you guys can start your grants as early
as soon as possible. Yeah.
But that
I
means
think
on the other end, you got to have these things finished and closed up and all the proper documentation, because we do have a fiduciary responsibility to RI and they will audit us. And we don't want them to take money back because they say, well, it just looks like you did some pass-throughs and,
And I also understand that you cannot start on next year's grants until you finish and upload and submit this year's grant, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. And we will not approve next year's grant for you if you have not finished this year's grant.
But I would say you could start on your next year's grant applications.
Yeah, if your club already knows what you want to have and the monies have already been, we sent out a list with what all the club's monies are available. So, if your board has already said, well, go ahead with dictionaries again this year and spend our money on that, there's no reason why you can't get that application put in while you're in here, doing all this at the same time and whip it back over. And you can actually, take a grant and just change the organizational year and it'll pop back in there and pretty much copy it from one to the other.
Year to another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last year Vanessa and I tried to do it, but we had to finish and upload the current fiscal year before we could start exactly.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right, Kim, are you that is always the case. People waiting for the treasurer to get them or the secretary of the club to get the documentation. But it's time to start pushing these people. I see April 1st coming around the corner, Easter right after that. Come on, we got to get this up. Got to get this uploaded before I all go crazy and it's tax season and I have other things to do with my life. Go ahead, Kim.
It sounds like I can go ahead and do everything except the documents tab step. I can get the other steps done because it'll save it and I can keep adding to it.
Yep.
All right.
Up until you collect final signatures. There is a way that if it gets to us and says final signatures and we don't approve what you did, we don't think people don't know how to deal with the budget, so we got to get the budget fixed or whatever. We can go in and we can still do some of that stuff after the signatures to adjust it if we need to. But it's nice if it can be clean coming to us because then we can approve it real quick and get your check right back.
So for clarification, everything gets saved if you do the save final report. It's saved until you do a final signature. If you click save final report, it will stay there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the hardest part because you scroll down and you're typing and stuff, and then you decide to go someplace else to the next tab and you forget to scroll back up and click that final signature. I mean, save report tab, sorry, yellow save report tab. So people get tripped up on that pretty regularly. I get phone calls on that going, I keep trying to put the stuff in here. I cannot figure out why. It's like, oh, you type all that stuff in and then you don't hit the save button. Kim, you had another question.
Can we have your contact info? If we have,
Yeah, sure.
if we go wild
Sure.
and
let me
cannot
get-
fill it.
We're
Let
on
me
the we're in DAC-DB in the district team. You'll find her
Okay.
there.
I'll give it to you here. Kim, go ahead.
Yeah, a question for photos. Is there a shortcut method for getting photos from a cell phone into documents?
No. Oh, what I find I have to do is I have to email them to myself and then save them on my computer and then upload them from my computer. Because basically when you go into here and you go into documents, we gotta get you guys out of the way here for a minute, sorry. And you say upload a file, then you choose a file and it's choosing a file off your computer.
Yeah,
So you can, just put them, they can still be in downloads and they can be there and you can pop them back up from there, or you can name them or do something, whatever it takes. So once you click one, click on one, tell it to open, which is saving it effectively, then it'll say, then you say upload the file, and then bingo, you'll see it show up down here.
yeah. Yeah, that's, I gotta work with somebody to help me sort my photos that are on my computer so I can find them.
Yeah, we love photos.
Yes.
Well, you'll probably get one per project from me because it's gonna be a lot of work.
But we don't need 50. You can use those for your own club internal stuff. We just need one showing, got same thing. We had these young kids, and they were helping him out the holidays, and they were having so much fun, and so many cute photos. And I was like, oh, I'll give you 4. That's a lot. That's pretty good. Bernardo, my personal email is SAN. And my last name is Yeater, Yeater, @gmail.com. And
And what is it? YEA and then
EER.
DER.
He is in Tom.
I just put it in chat.
Ah, perfect.
I can do that. Let's see. There we go. It's in chat. If you know how to just click your chat button, you'll see it then. And then if you send me an email and it's too complicated to discuss, we'll call each other.
Perfect.
And I have more than once gone on like this with somebody and gone into their grant and walked them through and helped them figure out, what they needed to do. I hope not to do that with 50 some grants, one by one. But the problem is, and I have to admit that, before I was doing district grants in this, well, I'm doing grants in this district for my club before I became the grants chair, and learning DAC the first few times, you do it once a year. And so then, you get to the next year and now it's March, April, and you got to put your documents in and you got to start a new grant. And it just seems pretty foreign.
Yeah, exactly. I forget from one year
I'm
to
sure
the other.
difficult. So I understand, and that's why we're here.
Thank you.
We love all the work that all the clubs do, and as a total in our district, it's a lot of wonderful stuff. So, having $55,000-$60,000 and hopefully growing amount of money that are little amounts of grants. Well, I magnified because it may be here. Let me show you this. So when you go down to the bottom here, okay, I got to get you guys down out of the way so I can see this. $78,000 worth of total work is being done. So we're giving out 40 and 78's worth of work is being done this past year. So this is, it's really nice to think about. That's some pretty significant work and little bits and pieces here and there. So it's good. It's all good. All right, Kim, you think you're going to be good?
I'll be good as long as I get everything I need and as long as I can figure out how to share photos. Other than that, I'm fine.
Okay.
Woo!
I want
Well,
to
it
check.
doesn't do any good for you to pick them up and text them to me because they're going to have to go into your computer, unfortunately, or somebody else's computer that you can talk into going into deck and doing this.
I mean, there's no way to access Facebook and download from there.
Nope.
Same
Yeah.
way as you would a phone, copy, save.
Yeah, same thing, copy paste. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. I had the same issue because that holiday turkey delivery was in November at Thanksgiving. And our media people had this wonderful Facebook post with lots of beautiful pictures and stuff. And I was like, how do I get these freaking pictures off of this, so that I can save them and get them so I can get them into this file. And finally I said, can you just send me these pictures?
I do that every month for the district newsletter. I'm
Yeah.
on Facebook. I look at I look at every club's Facebook page and I download from Facebook the image that's connected to their Facebook page and their little caption or whatever it is. And that's how I populate most of the district newsletter.
Yeah, that's good.
So if you want me to share with you, Kim, how to do that, I can.
I know how to say, yeah, no, the issue is accessing it after it's on my computer. So I'll have to work with somebody about that.
Hey, Sandy, this is Chip Dickens. I got a question for you.
Hey, Chip.
It's not about this closeout because I think first time getting engaged in that. I think I understand what I need to do and certainly will contact. The question is during the grant seminar back in this a couple months back, but there was a letter that you guys had put out that basically showed the breakdown in terms of contributions and what was available for DDF in the coming year. And where can I find that?
You can find that. We have it uploaded in the grants. I think Sandy can probably take you there. It's
Let's go back to
in the current year.
So grants current year at district, okay.
And then I think you go to grant secure files.
Oh, yes, right. Secure files, yeah. So
And
that's
then
what
picking the correct year.
is this. Let me get that here.
Oh, secure files, not public files.
Oh, hang on, then you gotta hit this thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then you go to the 24-25 grant folder
Got it. Okay, perfect. I got it. Thank you.
and secure files again. No, not that.
Not there?
And there you see it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I always gotta run secure files. So, well, we got it up. Come on. Oh, no, that's the,
No.
it's
It's
not-
the eligibility report, I think. Yeah. And that's the newest one. See, it's March 11th. It's the latest. Put that up this last week. Can you click on that one, Sandy?
Yeah, it's trying to download. There now.
Uh-oh. Lost StackDB?
When do we need to submit the 24-25 MOU?
MOU?
Yeah.
Let me check on your club because I got a bunch of them at Pets.
So
And
this is-
Okay,
I can't do it right now on the screen, but I can,
you let me know.
yeah,
So
we'll be reaching out to everybody who we don't have.
Okay, fantastic.
can you see this in here?
Thank you.
Pam, can you see this?
I can see that. There we go.
So here's the.
So these are the amounts for next year, right?
Right.
Yes.
These are the amounts for next year. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay. Let's get back into Zoom here. Oh, okay, there we go. Debbie, hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You look familiar. What club are you from, Deb?
Country,
Country, okay.
Country Rotary Club.
I know I've talked to you about some of your grants before. That's good. Michael, are you there? Do you want to talk about anything?
No, I really don't have any. You've been pretty clear. And
Okay.
I've got a couple of grants geniuses in my club, so we're in good shape.
Excellent.
That's good, but you know, you can reach out anything. How are things coming with you, Deb? Back to you.
So I think it's all straightened out, and I think they've been signed off on. So I think we're okay.
Oh, is this the one where we are still waiting on something, Joanne?
Yes, yes. Debbie, hi.
Hi.
So what Sandie has said is that because the receipts from Honduras is in whatever
Pesos or some
currency that country has, we need to have the translation into US currency, and that needs to match what the budget is. So the receipts, you need to have some sort of documentation from Woody and Linda to know what the exchange rate is, and so that we can figure out and document in the grant how much the receipts were, and that total should equal what the budget is. Am I correct?
Okay,
Sam?
I'll have to go back and double check, because I thought Linda and Woody put the translation page in with that, and I uploaded it because they translated it into English.
And he's gonna check.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, while Sandy's checking, I'll just remind everybody that we're gonna have another call next month on entering the new grant applications. And so it's already on the calendar in DAC-DB. It'll be 5:30. I gotta look at my calendar a second and see what the date of that is.
Just a second, I think I know.
Yeah, I think this, well, hang on.
The 18th, April 18th at 5:30 p.m. We'll be doing the application side for people.
This is in whatever pesos or something or other.
Yeah,
This
there should be a separate letter that I uploaded with it. I thought that they had translated it.
There's nothing there. Nothing there. So all I have is that and a thank you letter and some project pictures. So I don't see anything.
Okay, I'll go back to Woody and see if we can get the guy from Honduras to just kind of translate it over to us. Because we
You know
were,
what,
we
you
were,
might be, I don't know if this would be adequate, Sandy, but if you, can you go like to Google and say what was the currency exchange on this and such date?
If I knew what the currency was. I didn't even know what the currency
Oh,
was.
we don't know, okay.
There's no
Honduran
indication
pesos?
what the currency is. I don't know. I can't assume it's peso. I don't know.
Okay.
So we just
Okay.
need a little more crosswalk to, obviously they purchased something and we're getting the application to match that now. And so now we just have like one more little piece of, that the club.
I think it's a quick fix, because that's the grant that we rewrote. And so I think that's a quick fix. So I'll go back and look at my documentation, because I thought they had given me that, but if not, I'll have them get it. I don't think that won't be an issue.
Yeah,
So I should be able to get that to you
this letter
within the
says
next day or two.
for a donation of $2,000, which is helpful, obviously, but then the question is, what, now we've got these receipts, and what did that really cost in dollars? So was it, if it's only $1,000 US equivalent, then I can't give you a $2,000 grant.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Debbie,
Joanne has figured out
I just did a Google search on Honduras currency. And it gives a little chart that shows day by day what the currency connection is between the Honduras, Lempura.
But they're lempuras, okay.
No,
That's one thing, the documentation has got to say that it's lempuras, and the currency exchange rate that we're going to use is this amount. So therefore, this much was, was spent. In a little letter to that, a little something in there, so it's all doable.
Okay.
Just we need to
Yeah,
tighten.
it's fixable.
Okay,
I think that'll be a quick fix.
thank you. That's great.
Just,
Good.
Sue?
And
just,
that's an example of a grant that they put in, again, because you're putting it in May and you're hoping to do the work. They actually started the work and granted the money initially before the grant started. And so so I had to say, I can't award you the grant. We approved you for X and now you didn't do X, you did Y. So we went back to Rotary International and said, well, we would like this club to now switch their grant to Y. And RI was like, okay, that's fine. It's just, but it has to be done legally on the end because it's a whole package that comes. And then now the club is able to do Y instead of X.
I would just add a footnote. I'll just add a footnote to that for those, for the whole audience, is that if there's a situation where you have to change your grant plans, you submitted for something and now something has happened and you need to change and do a different kind of project, you can't spend any of the money until Rotary Foundation approves that change in your project. I think in this case, we got an exceptional acceptance because the work was already done. And
it was done within the grant year, so that was.
Yeah, but still, no, Rotary Foundation has to approve the change.
Normally, yeah, normally.
Yeah. So luckily I know some people, I guess, and maybe that worked. Bernardo.
Yeah, I want to thank you. This was wonderful. I have to sign off. I have foundation committee meeting. This was fantastic. Thank you very much to all.
Thanks, Bernardo. I think we're done. If there's any last things, looking forward to seeing Bernardo again soon. And I guess we'll turn off the recording and say goodbye. Thank you all.
Last minute question.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Very good. Nice seeing you all. All right, then, bye-bye.
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 Debbie, do you want to stick around for a second? Debbie, you there?